the election this year. But you've also, pointed out ways in which it could be better. But now that we've heard from them, especially raising the issue of slipped timelines because of things like rain, starting from the very beginning, our process, and Dr. Farijan always said it, it all starts and ends at the polling station. We count everything there. But the reporting process from that point on, this year, have been 2 steps to the declaration of the presidential winner. Step 1 is the collation centers in the constituencies. Step 2 is the collection of all those constituency collations at a regional collation center. Then the final step is confirmation of 16 regional results at the national EC headquarters. That's the process. Rain broke it down. How do you react to that? I'll start with Clara, if you don't mind. Let me give you a microphone there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think maybe probably the rain would have come in from the voting side, because probably due to the voting, the rains, voting might have started later in the day rather than the scheduled time, or people probably stayed longer in the queues, which then meant that although voting would have closed at some polling stations, but maybe in those particular polling stations, voting would have still been ongoing, which then means that the accounting would have been much later than the rest of the stations that didn't have any HS, and then of course then the delays could affect some of that. So yes, I playing a devil's advocate, I think that is how it would have happened. But the last time we talked about the timelines, like I noted the last time, I always want to believe that if you give me timelines, you know what you have, you know the steps that are involved, and you are able. So I want to believe that when you give me the timeline, you definitely are able to do that. But yes, is it surprising? No, I think most people didn't know that the 24-hour deadline was very ambitious, because what is most important, I think, is transparency. And making sure that you are accurate and you are correct, so that people accept the results. It is for that reason that I think that in terms of the publication of the results from the constituency level, is a bit too tarried. There's no reason why, as and when each constituency comes in, I don't see why the EC should not be able to publish. So at least each time you finish from any constituency, then once the results are published constituency by constituency, it's easier for everybody to follow. It's also easier. You give less room for political parties to say we are winning here or we are not winning there, because people are going to be looking to you for their certified results. So I think when it comes to putting out certified results as they come in, I don't think we see a lot. I think we could improve. That is an area that we need to improve a lot, and we have to put all the results. So this person got that much, that person got that much, these are the rejected ballots. All the information should be put there so that people can do their own math. The rest of it just becomes arithmetic, and then most people can follow. It leaves room for few people to complain or have issues with what is happening. It appears that is where we need a lot more improvement in. Yeah,
I mean, in an election, information is the cure to pretty much every problem you could possibly imagine, and it's fair to understand the predicament of the EC when it comes to the presidential results, because there is one returning officer, and that is Madam Jean Mensah herself. So yeah, we just have to wait until all the 16 regions have reported, and all the political parties have accepted at national level the reports from the 16 regions. There's no other way around that. But there are 275 returning officers for the parliamentary. Why are we still confused about who has won which constituency?
It is strange that we are still not very sure about that. But I believe the Electoral Commissioner should have started publishing all certified results from the constituency level, so that this back and forth process from the two political parties will cease. And I believe she said they're going to do that from today. So all polling station results that have been certified and signed by the agents of all the political parties should be put in the public domain. The more information that we have, the more we are empowered to contest some of these allegations and counter allegations that are being paraded by political parties and other agents. But in the absence of information, you tend to believe what is available to you, even though sometimes with some suspicion and caution. But it is important that the Electoral Commission is the sole authority to do this. So once they begin to put this online, publish this to the public, then we will be able to compare whatever results that we get to what the EC has provided. And then that will reduce that element of anxiety. Delayed in information, delayed in releasing information definitely will create anxiety. And where there's anxiety, people look for any available information to be able to relieve that anxiety. So getting an information from the legally authorized state institution is one of the best way we can kill some of this mischief that's going on. But in every election process, we have the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns. So as an election management body, you should be able to anticipate some of the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns. And based on that estimation, you are able to set a deadline. There are some things we can predict. Maybe we can predict that election materials may delay in some areas because of transportation or because of where they are located. But we may not be able to predict that there could be rain. Maybe in some cases the meteorological service could do that. There are a lot of things that we cannot predict as human beings. There are some we may assume that this is likely going to happen. So when we factor all these things into our calculation, then we are able to give a timeline that is realistic. In the absence of that, it creates another room for a lot of anxiety. You were talking about the processes. I'm so happy that the Electoral Commission is able to give this clear information so that we are all able to follow the process and know what's going on. Fine. Three things are very key here. Transparency, also participation, and then vigilance. So it is very good that we have that kind of structure from the polling station level to the Constituency Coalition Center, in the past straight to National Coalition Center. But I think this year they have introduced another process from the Regional Coalition Center. So we know from one particular center to another, political parties have their agents. Serious political parties will have their agents. And their agents will definitely verify the results from what has been counted and append their signature. So there's that element of participation from political parties. And political parties at the national level should make sure that the people that they have at the ground should be able to give them the information that they need within reasonable period of time. So that whenever you believe some results has been doctored, you can confirm from what you have. So I think from the polling station level to the constituency, to the regional, to the national, there's an element of participation by agents of political parties. And that kind of participation creates a lot of opportunity for transparency so that you know what is going on and you know that you have to be very vigilant so that things don't change. What may be so difficult is the fact that the more lengthier the processes are, there's also the possibility of manipulation because maybe from one particular state to the other, then if everything is satisfied, then we declare. But if you have to go from here to another, if you are not vigilant, actually, it could create an opportunity for people to tamper with it. But if you have agents at all the polling stations with the element of that element of participation and vigilance, it becomes practically very difficult for people to manipulate the data if your people are actually very vigilant and know what is going on. So it is important that we get this kind of information. It can help us so much to be able to digest most of the things that goes out into the public domain and then remain very calm, knowing very well that at the end of the day, the declaration that's going to be made by the Electoral Commission would truly represent the wish of the people.
Now, in an election, again, there are perhaps four sources of information that the public rely on. being general. The first one, obviously, is the Electoral Commission. Second is the media. Then we have the two, and we're